double coverage.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the great man, Saucy. You're rocking the Arsenal shirt, and for good reason.
6-0, mate. 6-0 this morning. Absolutely slapped Sheffield United. It probably could have been more. Let's be honest. We took the foot off the gas in the second half. But yeah, it was a good victory, and I mean we have to keep winning in that manner, just so we can not leave it to any chance that goal difference is going to be an issue. That's going to obviously help our cause a little bit. But still a bit to go in the season. What is it? I think there's 10 games left, Doma. I believe around that 10, 11.
Yeah, probably around about 10 games.
So yeah, it'll be an interesting.
Start calling you flat track bullies. Call you Port Adelaide, bending up on the shit teams.
You reckon? Yeah. Well, we've got to. I think we got Porto next we've got to pull our socks up there.
Oh wow. Well, Porto is treating you like a shit team at the moment. The way you went. There is 11 games left in the season. 38, isn't there, in the Prem? Yeah, 38. So 11 games left. So perfect. First and foremost, let's get straight into it, Saucy, tonight. NBA. And funnily enough, Jules, first one in the chat, welcome. And he says, welcome to the 40K club, GOAT James. First and foremost, 40,000 points for LeBron. Pretty impressive. If you were listening to this show when he broke the all-time scoring record, there was one thing that Saucy and I said, and it is, don't worry about the 40K. There's a certain number that he's striving towards, and that is 50,000 combined points, regular season and playoff. So to give you perspective where he's at, we've got to look this up. I should have been more prepared for this. He's got his 40K
it's a phenomenal
points.
Effort, regardless. I mean, first player to ever get 40K regular season points. And I think someone put it into perspective. It's like you'd have to play. Someone said you'd have to play at least 68 games a season for 20 seasons and average 30-something points a game to reach that mark.
So, Sauce, he needs under 2,000 playoff points to get to 10K. But in total, he needs under 2,000 points in total to get to 50,000 total points. 50,000, Sauce. That's messed up, man.
It's a testament. It's a testament to the longevity of his career, the way he looks after his body. The
PEDs that he's been on, according to Kevin Garnett.
Probably. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah, who cares? Who cares? Like,
hey, what do they say? It's an entertainment business. Hey, you know what? If it was a true entertainment business, they should just let them all take it, and whoever's the best after they all take it is the best. That's it, man. Even out the playing field. They should have done that in baseball.
You know what's funny? Everyone bags, like they said, it'd be just so true if it makes so much sense. If LeBron was on performance-enhancing drugs and he'd never be able to touch MJ and do all this stuff and blah, 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 blah. I think to myself, when the biggest PED scandal ever was during the 90s. Where every athlete was juiced up. You're telling me that there was no one in the NBA that was juicing? They probably were all juicing in the 90s.
That's when Lance got away with it all, didn't it? Wasn't it? Around then? 90s, early 2000s?
Nah. Late 2000s, I reckon it was.
Okay.
But they were all juicing. It's just funny. Anyway. Let's not.
No, we're not saying that MJ was juicing. We're just
we're not saying
that. It was a known period of time where a lot of athletes were doing that.
We're not saying it, but I might imply it. Why not imply it, Sauce? I love the fact that everyone's quick to diminish a guy because he's played so long that he's on performance-enhancing drugs. Whether he is or he isn't, I don't really give a shit because the guy's 40 years old and he's still beating young guys. Like, that's a disgrace to the young guys. Performance enhancing drugs or not, mate. The guy's 40 years old. Like, he shouldn't be doing what he's doing. But anyway, let's not promote taking PEDs. But if you're quick to say that he's on performance enhancing drugs, maybe look at the era, the 90s. They were all on cocaine in the 80s. And in the 90s, every athlete was on performance enhancing drugs. So don't be too quick to go and, judge someone. Because none of those guys in the 90s got caught. So they're not going to go back in time and say, hey, Jordan, piss in a cup. Because we're 30 years later, mate. You'll never know. You just never know. So if he's ever caught LeBron, you're just like, oh, but 40K, enjoy it. Like I said with Kobe, I couldn't stand him till he retired, and I missed it. I enjoyed his career when it was too late at the end. Just enjoy it, mate. He's going to get to 50,000 total points.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
All right, let's move on. We've got a bit to get into tonight. So.
Lakers are back, by the way. They did beat the number 1 team in the West. And what did I tell you, Doma? I told you, please give us the 8th seed and give us OKC in the first round because we will wipe the floor with them. They match up beautifully with us. I'm telling you, if I'm OKC, you do not want to face the Lakers in the first round of the playoffs because we'll win the 7-game series.
You did say that. Yeah, why not? Everyone's back at the moment.
I don't think the Lakers have the team to do it. We play a team like the Nuggets where you see they have a lot more. The chemistry is a lot better. Their offense runs a lot smoother. I still think the Nuggets are the team to beat in the West. Should Jamal Murray stay healthy because Jokic will be healthy. We know that. Should Jamal Murray stay healthy, they are the team to beat in the West again. They have to be.
Jules said only if D'Lo plays like him.
Yeah, well, we need D'Lo to fire for us to have.
You need D'Lo to get back to his going to get traded form just before the deadline. Yeah, when he was actually scared he was going to get shipped off. On Instagram, Eden says, "Don't sleep on a fully fit Wolves." I'm telling you, we've said it 1,000 times, mate. I just think they will capitulate when it counts. I know you got the guy that could be the reincarnate or the next coming of Jordan in terms of his mentality and Anthony Edwards, but you got one of the softest players to play the game, mate. Like, you can't win. If the Minnesota Timberwolves win this year, I'd be as shocked as anyone. I'd be as shocked. If Minnesota won, it'd be like Joe Biden actually winning the election this year. That's how shocked I'd be. Seriously. That's how shocked I would be.
I'll reiterate what I've mentioned numerous times on the show. You're not going to win anything with Karl Anthony Towns. I'm just telling you. If anyone listens to this that's got a connection to Karl Anthony Towns, send this to him. Maybe it's motivation, right? But I'll look straight down the barrel here. Pat, with you on the team, that team, Minnesota Timberwolves, are not winning a championship this year. I can guarantee it. Prove me wrong. Win the chip. But I can guarantee it, you won't.
You've spoken straight to him. The last time we did that, we spoke to James Harden directly to his face, and he crumbled under the pressure that we put on him. Us two nobodies down in Australia put pressure on him, and they just crumble. They fault, mate. Like, what do you want? It's just as good as it's just as good as thinking that the Timberwolves are going to win. It's just as good as comparing Jimmy Butler bloody college stats to Bronny college stats. And they both average pretty much exactly the same, and saying that, Butler started where Bronny is. Look what Butler became. Stop him, man. Get the hell out of here. Jimmy Butler had adversity to get to where he's at. Bronny Jr., he just waking up in those silk sheets every morning. He's got some maid feeding him grapes. He wakes up to massages on his feet. Come on, man. What are we talking about? Jimmy Butler and Bronny James. Get the F out of here, man. That's just ridiculous. He's got those silk sheets. He's Conor McGregor now. That's what he is. He was born into money. Like, come on. Yeah, exactly. It is disrespect. Don't compare the two. Like, get out of it. All right. Eden says their defense is amazing and goes very deep. This is about Minnesota. If their stars gel in the playoffs, they'll compete till the end.
We'll see. Time will tell.
We'll see.
Time will tell.
Source has made his prediction.
Yeah, quick mention before we move on from basketball. Seems as though the Milwaukee Bucks, the Doc Rivers regime is starting to click. I'm not sure if you noticed, Dom. They've won their last 5 games in a row.
Yeah.
They kept Minnesota, all great Minnesota Timberwolves that are going to win the championship this season to 107 points and beat them on their home floor, 112 to 107. And today, I'm not sure if you caught it, they beat the Clippers at home without Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Dame Lillard went off for 41 points, absolutely killed it. You had Bobby Portis, 28 points off the bench with 16 rebounds, beating the Clippers with a full side. They had Zubac was in, PG, Harden, Kawhi, full side in, no Giannis. They get the job done. The defense is starting to click. I'll just say this quickly, Doma, and then we'll move on. Let me just unplug that so then it's not mucking around. But the Bucks, in their last 5 games, as I mentioned, right, they've kept, obviously today, the Clippers to 106 points. Last game, the Bulls, who stink, to 97. Charlotte to 99. Charlotte to 85. 76ers to 98. And Minnesota Timberwolves to 107. If this defense can stay up, they're now a top 6. With those performances, that's actually a top 6 defense in the league. Hey, if they keep this, maybe they are a threat in the East. That's all I'll say. Because they have the offense. Can they piece together that defense? Pat Bev come in, made a big change. You know, as much as you want to say, mate, that guy comes in, the defense is better. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. He makes your defense better. He does the small things. He gets in their face, steals. Pat Bev made a big change in that ball club, and the Doc Rivers regime starting to piece together. Let's see if it all unravels, who he throws under the bus.
I was waiting for it, because if you didn't say it, I was. If you didn't say it, I was. I was going to have to drop it in there. And a shout out, not a shout out, a bit of a commiseration to Knicks fans out there with Brunson getting hurt. It's a knee contusion. It looked like an ACL, but knee contusion. He's going to be out for a while. He will be back playing playoffs, but yeah, not great. Not great at all.
What you want going into the playoffs, interrupted.
No way. Yeah. Eden says, Doc, the playoff choking specialist, get him out of here. James says, no Westbrook is why the Clippers lost. Eden says, Philly, they're a Philly 2.0. He's talking about the Bucks. They're not going anywhere. And good evening to you, James. And good evening to you, Tyson. He says, missing you, lads. We miss you too. We've got to get you on the show, mind you.
Yep.
We've got, mate, I had the piece of paper somewhere. I reckon I've used it as I used it as a bookmark. Source. Look at this. This now, mind you, ladies and gentlemen, is like 3 pages long. This was when we look at this. This is everything from our last interview that we were meant to do with Tyson. It didn't go ahead. And I've got on here Mike Tyson, Dirk Nowitzki, Team Coach 23, we'll get that off there. Tyson Fury, Alex Pereira, Josh Giddey, his Project 70 that he did. Who's next to sign, mate? He's at about who's next to sign? He's at about 15 other athletes I've got to add to this thing to get stories off. I'm telling you, we're going to probably have to do a 3-part series. In all honesty, we might have to break it down and get some stories and go from there. Oh, don't worry, Magda. We'll get to that lemon. Don't worry. We'll get to it. Don't you worry. I wasn't happy. Let's get to the EPL first. because Saucy's team, Port Adelaide, is on a heater. Arsenal, the Gunners.
Almost calling us flat bullies.
Well, I'm just mucking around. I got to steal you. My team's a piece of crap, so we got to find the laugh here.
Mate. You were in the game, mate, according to the coach.
I'm going to bring up those stats too.
I'll get something up.
Can you bring it up? Can you? Yeah, just do it like you did last time, mate. Let's do it.
I've seen it. I was pissing my pants. And then I heard the interview and I looked at that and I'm going, what are you on about?
He's the absolute Le Mans man. Tottenham defeated Crystal Palace 3-1. Liverpool defeated Nottingham 1-0 with a 99th minute special. Newcastle 3-0 over Wolves. Fulham 3-0 over Brighton. West Ham 3-1 over Everton. 2-2 Brentford and Chelsea. Aston Villa defeat Luton 3-2. Burnley lose to Bournemouth 2-0. Arsenal smack Sheffield 6-0. And let's get to the game in question, Source. Man City defeat Man United 3-1. After we scored in the 8th minute, we got up early here.
Absolute cracker by Rashford, must I say.
100%. And if anyone thought that United was a chance of winning after that goal went in, you're just as deluded as every other person that thought that they could win that game. Doesn't matter if you score in the first minute, the 90th minute. It doesn't matter, mate. They're going to find a way to beat you or get a result. And that's what ended up happening. But according to the coach, as Saucy said, we played amazing, mate. Well, unbelievable. So, Sauce, why don't you just show the viewers, and if you're listening at home, how well Man United played in this derby. I reckon it could have been one of the all-time great performances by United as a team. It's good to see. What have we got there? 6.2, 6.7. Yeah, some good player ratings there.
Highest rated. It's Rashford. Obviously, he scored the goal. But here we go. This is what we want to look at, ladies and gentlemen. This is the momentum chart. You got the tiniest bit of momentum on the red. The tiniest bit. You can't even see it.
Look at that. No, it doesn't count.
The only bit of momentum you had was on the 54th minute.
1 minute.
73% possession to 27%. Right? Total shots, 27 to 3 shots. 15 corners to 2.
Look at
it was close, mate. It was close.
Look at the shot chart. Go down. Look at the shot chart.
Oh, no, look at that. That's the shot chart. All the shots they had, and this is the shots you had. Come on, man. Come on, Eric Ten Hag. What game are you watching? Are you watching the same game that we are watching? Because,
he's gone,
mate, honestly, he is delusional, man. He's delusional.
We're gone. I'm just telling you, he's gone.
If you guys don't make Champions League, I think he's out of there.
No, he is gone. I told you 2 weeks ago when Ratcliffe had that interview, they spoke about the manager and he did not give him an endorsement at all. Didn't knock him down. But didn't give him an endorsement. If you're happy with what a manager's doing, you'll back him. Doesn't matter, hard times. He didn't give him any endorsement. He said, when we get to that road, we'll cross it. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. And work out what we need to do that's best for the football club going forward. That means selling everyone and starting from scratch. And as I said, he said to United fans, you need to be patient. And it won't take 1 year. It's not going to take 2 years. It could take 3 or more years to even become competitive again. He said that. So that means it's going to be a massive, massive shake-up. None of this like mini shake-up thing. He's going to turn over the club completely. If you don't buy in, you're gone. So guess who's gone? Rashford, you can kick bangers, mate. You're out. He's out of the club. He won't be there. And Mbappe's gone to Madrid, and he's gone to PSG. And he'll look like the greatest English player to ever play football playing in France, and he'll come play in a World Cup, and he'll do absolutely nothing. So that's what will happen. He's gone. Casemiro's probably gone. Varane's probably... You know, Casemiro and Varane, Source, are the two of the top 5 highest paid players in the Premier League. I'm going to say that again, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you heard me right. Casemiro and Rafael Varane are 2 of the top 5 highest paid players in the Premier League. Casemiro is 3rd, and Varane is the 5th highest paid player in the Premier League. What is that saying, man?
That's crazy, man. Paying those wages to guys at that age just is nuts.
I know we gave 80 million to Anthony. We did what we had to do to help out Ten Hag because that was a guy that understood his system. But he can't even play his Ajax system at this football club. So all those guys are useless.
Bro, that's one guy. I don't know what's happened to him, man. Like, remember I was like,
he dominated when he came to the club,
and in the Champions League, he was like so good. And then, bro, I don't know what's happened with him.
His first few months at United were really good. He was scoring. He was a threat on the wing. Actually got back and played defense. We were watching games, watch parties, man. And he's just regressed completely. I don't know. We're cooked. No, we're shit. Don't worry about it.
Foden is a beast, Magda says. Yes, Foden is an absolute jet. I think I underestimated how good actually Phil Foden is. I think you've got to realize, I think he's 21. Like, he's actually 21 years old. And what he's doing. Mate, that English side's going to be not bad going into the next Euros this year. They're going to be not bad. You're going to have Bellingham. You're going to have Foden. Harry Kane leading the line.
Harry Kane. Can't even win a Bundesliga.
Oh, have you seen? Did you see? Hang on, before we move on, have you seen the absolute shithousery that's going on there? He's gonna win. No. He's leading the Golden Boot, right? Is most likely gonna win the Golden Boot, right?
Yeah,
and win.
Fair enough.
The funniest thing is the trophy is literally the Gunners symbol. It's literally that. The Gunners symbol.
No, it's cannon. Not.
I swear to God, that's what the trophy is. No. I swear to God, look it up. I seen it. I was pissing my pants. Rub insult into the wound. He's literally not going to win the league, but win the trophy of top goal scorer in the league, and then it comes an Arsenal gun.
Oh my God! It actually is. It actually is. What the hell? What the hell? This is Lewandowski holding it up, mate. Here it is. That's so good. What the hell?
Cop that, Harry Kane.
That's insane, man. I didn't know that. That's crazy. That is a piss off. That is so funny.
You didn't like that one.
Oh, Magda says Man United backline is bang average and they're not winning anything unless that with that backline. Yes, I agree, and very well could have been a Celtic versus Barca masterclass. 54th minute is when United went into Man City's half. Eden says, as a Liverpool fan, I was in fact one of those deluded fans. No business trusting United to hold the lead, let alone a draw. Mate, we're fifth or sixth, whatever, on the table with -2 goal difference. That in itself is impressive. Trust me, that's actually impressive. Like, let's get to the games this week. Man United versus Everton. That's on the 9th. That's Saturday at 11:30. Beautiful. I can actually watch this game. Bournemouth, Sheffield, Crystal Palace, Luton, Wolves, Fulham. Arsenal play Brentford Sunday morning at 4:30 a.m. Aston Villa, Tottenham, midnight Monday morning. Brighton, Nottingham, West Ham, Burnley, Liverpool, Man City, Monday morning, 2:45, saucy. And then at 7 a.m., Chelsea versus Newcastle.
Who's Arsenal got this week? I missed it.
Brentford.
Okay.
And then we've got another game at home.
Oh, that's good.
You could go on top of the table, Sauce. Could go on top of the table. We'll see how you go. All right.
Quickly.
The ladder as is. Sorry, Sauce. Liverpool, 63 points. City, 62 points. Arsenal, 61 points. All 27 games played.
What's the goal difference on those?
Arsenal has a +6 goal difference on Liverpool and a +10 goal difference on Man City. So those smashings have helped you out.
The goal difference.
Yeah.
Let's go. Come on.
Go for it. What do you got for us?
Belief. If you don't know now, you know Champions League is again tomorrow. I'll just run through the quick fixtures. You've got Bayern Munich against Lazio. Bayern Munich are down 1-0. It's at Bayern's home. So they're down 1-0. So we'll see if they can turn it around. Real Sociedad against Paris Saint-Germain. I believe they're down 2-0. It's at Real Sociedad's home. So we'll see if they can turn it around or if PSG can go through. And then Thursday, you've got Man City against Copenhagen, which I believe they're up 3-0, 3-1. They're up. And then also you have Real Madrid against RB Leipzig, where they're up 1-0 on Thursday. So check them out. Football froth all weekend. It starts tomorrow and goes all the way through till Monday. Obviously, Domo read that banger fixture in City versus Liverpool on next Monday morning. So make sure you're around for the football.
Quick one on Champions League source. New format coming in for next season. I'm not sure if anyone saw it. Going from 32 teams to 36 teams. No more groups. That's gone. They're getting rid of the groups. It's a table. It's a table from 1 to 36. There's four pots is the way they've worked it out. You'll play 4 teams, 1 from each pot. You play those teams twice. Those results and those, home and away. Those results all go to the ladder. So goal difference in points. Yeah. If you finish in the top 8, you get a direct line into the knockout stages, the final 16. Yep. If you finish in 9 to 24th, they'll match you up and you play a home and away leg to see who makes it into the knockout stages to play those 8 teams. Okay. So it'll be 16 teams broken down into 8 teams. And those 8 teams will play the 8 that automatically qualified.
So
it's just more games. It's more games. So then they'll play them, and then it'll be the normal Champions League final 16 all the way to the final. Teams from 25 to 36 are automatically eliminated from the competition. They don't get a run.
Okay, and then I'm guessing there's still going to be that situation where some of those teams from the round of 16, do they go qualify into the Europa?
I don't know how that's going to work because Europa League's also gone to the same format.
Okay.
So, yeah. Quick one on the Saudi League. Ali 1-1 for Ter, Khalid Shabab 0-0, Eddifak 2-0 over Damak, Al Hilal defeat Ittihad 3-1. The season's over with that win. They're up by 12 points. Abba defeat Tay 2-0. Riyadh beat Akhdud 2-1. Nassar and Hazem 4-4. No Ronaldo in that game because his obscene gestures the week before. So they drew 4-4. Wada and Tawun 3-3. Raid lose to Faya 2-1. There. All right, Sauce. Moving on to the AFL. Welcome on IG, Hobby Hangout, Coastal Sports Pod, Alex, and Brad Ripper. He's jumped on IG. Sauce, AFL. We got to get to the news. What's the big news? It's Jimmy Webster. That's the big news. Of course, it happened to be against my team. Do you want me to be biased? I can be biased. Not really. He just shouldn't have done what he did. He's got 7 weeks for it, Sauce. I'm not sure the verdict's been handed down if you've missed it. I'm not a big person to agree with David King, Sauce, at all. I reckon he speaks absolute drivel half the time. But he said he should have got 10 weeks. And I kind of agree with him. For the fact he made valid points. He said that the league keeps saying that we're here to protect the players. There were 70 concussions last year across the game. We've had in recent times, like Paul Seedsman retired at the end of the year, concussion. We've had a few guys retire. Brayshaw, obviously, 2 weeks ago. Yep. And obviously, I'm coming from school sport and obviously community grass level for AFL, that everyone's trying to implement concussion policies. So if you're doing that type of stuff, the AFL obviously is the big wig and they're trying to help formulate these policies and push it out. And you have to set an example as the league. To reduce the 70 concussions, you're going to get head knocks going in for the ball, accidental stuff. But the ones on sling tackles, bumps like what Webster's done, the Webster one especially, just electing to just bump and clean up someone. If you set it at 10 weeks, they miss half a season. I'm pretty sure it'd rub out a lot of people doing that type of stuff.
Honestly, I'll be honest with you, Dom. And I don't know. I don't know the financial ramifications for their contract, but it actually really needs to be, an incident as serious as that. That was pretty bad. Like, he jumped off his feet, left the ground, players completely unprotected. Like, it actually doesn't get much worse than that. That was literally a Byron Pickett special from the 90s, right, into today's game. And it's just not allowed, right? Back then, Byron Pickett, you got a free kick and you played the next week, right? Yeah. That was the game back then. But now it's not like that, right? There needs to be, you get suspended for 10 weeks and, Jimmy Webster, he's on, say he's on a, $450,000 contract, which means, on an average week, you'd be getting around $5,500. Half that money should be deducted from his pay. Half of his weekly wage should be deducted. You want to be a dog, act like that. For those weeks you're out, 10 weeks, you get half the amount of pay, right? The rest of that money goes back to the league, right? For research into concussion injuries, or whatever, right? That's what they need to do. It needs to be more than just weeks. It needs to be serious financial hardship on these players because they'll actually think, fuck, if I do this, I'm going to now getting $5,500 a week. Now I'm only going to get fucking $2,250. Fuck, that's shit for the next 10 weeks. Fuck, I'm going to lose $25,000. They don't want to do that. Whatever they're getting paid. I don't know. There's obviously players have a more higher pay package, but there needs to be something of that nature, right? Because it's not right. That action there is really like literally the worst action you can do to a player to potentially injure them. Like when you're kicking the ball, you are so open. You are so open. You should, and this is where, I feel like, Dom, it's going to get to a point where they're going to, the bump will be gone. You choose to bump, it's an instant free kick, and you can be, you can cop weeks or whatever, right? That's it. The bump's done. You must always tackle, right? Tackle sort of, it's going to end up being those ones where it looks like a bit of a tackle and they're sort of just using their forearm/shoulder area to sort of get them, if you get what I mean. It's not going to, so it will look like a tackle, but that's going to be the new way to bump with the upper part of your torso and your shoulder area. You're not going to be able to tuck yourself in, go like that, put it on the shoulder and bump that way. I feel like that's going to eventually get outlawed out of the game.
Yeah, and Simpkin misses next week. We're not playing this week in opening round. He misses round 1. They've confirmed that. So he's out for 2 weeks from the concussion. He should have played round 1 based off the timeline, but he's going to miss and come back round 2. Whether he comes back, this is a guy, unfortunately for Jai Simpkin, that's copped 3 concussions in 12 months. Now, that last one, the one that happened on the weekend, is probably the equivalent of 5 concussions, how hard he got cleaned up. Like, there's a concussion and then being knocked out cold. Like,
yeah, it was bad.
That was real bad. That was like head trauma to another level. And the AFL has to make an example of these players as well, like you're saying, Sauce, because in the end of the day, like, you've had Angus Brayshaw retire 2 weeks ago, and within that 2 weeks, you've had Sam Powell-Pepper do something and Jimmy Webster do something. Now, I know people keep saying, oh, it's a lapse of judgment. The fact that you keep defending these idiots, you are a disgrace. I don't care if you support St. Kilda or not. It's not a lapse in judgment, all right? It was intentional. So it's a lapse in judgment to be off the ground once the ball's being kicked with your arm up to clean him up. It would have been different if you got him late, but he tackled him. You know what I mean? And he gets a downfield. There's a downfield free kick. And he potentially gets like hurt or winded, but he doesn't get knocked out. There's a difference between that and jumping off the ground with your shoulder up to absolutely send him into another dimension in a preseason game.
Oh no, that's the part I don't get, mate.
Lapse of judgment. The guy is as Alistair Clarkson called him, and I won't repeat what he called him. All right, what he said to him directly to his face. Well, he did apologize, and apparently the apology wasn't good enough. So they're expecting to apologize again. Now, Alistair, I've met you before, and I really like you. And you know what I'm going to come out and say? Hold the press conference, sit at the desk and say, I gave my apology. You didn't want to accept it. That's your problem. See you later, and walk off. You don't need to give another apology to the guy whose family, I don't know if you saw his brothers and sisters, cousins, whoever they were, saying that was a fair bump, putting laughing emojis out on Twitter, which have since been deleted, those tweets on X. Funnily enough, what happens when you get caught in the act of doing something? How many times we've seen tweets go out and been a redacted source? So redacted quicker than names on the Epstein Island list. That's how quick they were freaking wiped off of X. It's just dumb. Absolutely dumb. It was disgusting what he did. The AFL has made an example of him, gave him 7 weeks. People say he's a good guy. You can say that about everyone, man. Lapse of judgment, good guy, this, that. Like, come on, man. Shut the hell up.
How many weeks did Gaff get for knocking out that bloke with a punch? 10 weeks?
Was it 11?
11 weeks, okay.
But, you know, in all honesty, the modern day king hit in AFL is doing that.
It is, yeah. That is the bump. Yeah, that is the modern day.
So realistically, the Gaff one should be probably almost a season, and that should be half a season.
Yeah. Probably.
So that should be 10 weeks, and the gaff type situation this year should, like, from going forward, should be like 16 weeks. King hitting someone, 16 weeks, bang. Another thing someone said, which is not a bad idea because it happens in community league football, is the red card. You give them a yellow card, they go to the sin bin, and if you get a red card, you're actually sent off and you can't replace them. And you become a detriment to your team, and you need to live with that on game day. If you clean someone up in the first quarter, for example, you get sent off with a red card, you need to live with the fact that your team is playing with one man less. The onus has to go on the player. Like you're saying, Source, if the onus goes on the player, they won't do it.
I don't agree with that.
I reckon you should. I know you're not going to agree with it.
I don't agree. Only for the reason is there's going to be instances where they brandish a red card and it's probably not a red card.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
And then, you get this situation. And I mean, is there going to be a thing where it's like, do they take that to a review to make sure
it becomes like a VAR situation to review it?
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
I don't think, I think it's
the red card. I just think
it's the reason why you've got the sub in there, so you can bring that person in, and shit if someone else does get injured and then you're down a player again. But it's a tough one to think about, but it'll be interesting to see what the AFL decides to do going forward, because we know they're not just going to sit on their hands and just wait and see how this plays out. They're going to make some rule changes. There's going to be something at some point.
The thing, like the crazy thing is, it's like 7 weeks for doing that now. I reckon they could have made a bigger statement with it. New CEO coming in, new person on the match review, chief operations of football. Mate, they're too busy worried about all this other stuff. And no offense to the great man from your football club, Source, Matthew Lloyd, who came out like after Clarkson obviously has gone and defended his player, Simpkin, and said things. He probably should have chose his words a little bit different on what he called Jimmy Webster. I get that. But for Lloyd to come out, Source, this is a guy that sniped Brad Sewell and sent him fucking packing, said that Clarkson should get suspended as a coach. Lloyd, shut the hell up. You know what we need in this game of football, mate? All right? The fact that Clarko made a comment to someone and someone heard it and said that he offended a minority group based on the comment he made to him. That's why he had to apologize to Webster and the minority group. All right? You can go do your research on it. The game needs theater. All right? It needs theater. You look at American sport. I know everyone goes, we're not American sport, we're Australian. Yeah? So why are we so soft when it comes to this shit? But I want to see a sin bin introduced, Sauce. I want to see like the NHL. Just imagine the coach and players running over to the sin bin, smashing on the window, saying, "I can't wait for you to get out."
Yeah, you're gonna. We need rookies like that guy, Matthew something. I forgot his name. The rookie that's come in for one team. His first 5 games, he's had 4 punch-ons in the NHL.
Yeah, you can't
Gloves
have that.
drop, punch
Yeah,
it.
yeah. No, but what I'm saying is you need the theater in the game. Like you need your Kevin Sheedy type like figures. You don't have that anymore. Every time a coach makes a comment, fine, or offended someone. Oh, I did this. Mate, you're all soft. You know, as supporters, I'll speak. I know it sounds old school, all right, because the AFL's become like the NBA. All right. As hard as it is for people to actually understand that, all players are best mates. All right. And you know, you're a fan and you sit there. All right. I'm going to pretend I'm a Carlton fan for the time being. All right. And Sauce is a Collingwood fan. As fans, we actually sit in the crowd and we do not want to lose to that football club. That is the rivalry. We still have that in your blood as a fan. And to then see a game end and they're all shaking hands and they're all best buddies when the fans are absolutely shattered and they're all shaking hands. Come on, man. Do you understand where I'm going with it? Everyone's just mates and everyone goes, oh, but it's great. It's great for the sport. You know what's great for the sport? Eyes on the sport. I'm old school like that, man. I'm old school like that. Best friends. Get out of here. You want that? Keep your little DM chats on Instagram to yourselves, mate. But on the game, on game day, you play for your football club and your fans. All right, and you're not looking to shake hands and take selfies with your teammate, with the opposition teammates at the end of the game. Like that to me, that I just sit there, Sauce. To me, I just sit there, and that goes, well, if you're going to do that, you didn't try hard enough to win for our football club. That's what it tells me.
Yeah, you see,
you're happy with that result. You're just happy. You're content with it. I'm here paying money for my membership, but you're content with that shit result. Because you're all buddies. Am I being too harsh?
Oh, you do. Yeah, you do see some, like, a fair bit of that. But I don't know. It's just, yeah. Look, mate. Come on, mate. You know what year we're in? We're in 2024, the year of the. This is the.
I'm not going to say what year it is, Sauce, because we're going to have to go to a rumble.
Not the year, but this is the decade of the snowflakes, mate. It's from about 2018 onwards, 2016 onwards, more and more snowflakes have started to appear in this society, mate. More and more snowflakes. That all you need to do is just go blow on them, and they just literally have a sook.
I don't disagree with you on that.
And just disintegrate, mate.
Here it is, Global. If you have any suggestions,
show us the Supercoach Doma. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't joined the Supercoach League, get in there. If you're not in there, we need
boys.
We've only got 5.
I've had a good idea. Let's make a community team. I'll chuck it in the league. I'll run 2 teams, but I'll make a community team, and the trades and decisions made have to come from us, and we'll see as a double coverage community, and we'll see how high we can get that team ranked. So we all manage the team. Obviously, I have it on an account, but we all manage it. Anyway, this is my team. You let me know what you think. Tell me if it's shit. My back line is Nick Dacos, Sicily, Hayden Young, Daniel Kern, Josh Gibcus, and Wilson from Carlton. I got Zach Reed. He'll probably start on the field from Essendon. He looks good. And Nick Caulfield. My mids are the Bonds, Petrarca, Goulden, Sarong, Josh Kelly. I'm a bit iffy on. McKercher, Dersma, Nick Watson. I got Sanders on the bench. He'll come on for round 1. Sharp and Manor. Gordon Grundy in the ruck. Then I got Toby Green, Sam Flanders, Jack Billings, Harley Reid. Nate Caddy won't play, so he's going to get dropped from this team. Finn McRae, Wilson, and Darcy. Darcy out for the needs more North Melbourne players. Get out of here, Oracle. Do it for Clarko. Get
Put more
5.
North Melbourne
Oh,
players
mate. The problem is you trust him 5 too much and he always gets hurt.
Yeah. I wouldn't go for 5.
You know, he's like one of my favorite players to ever play the game as well. But
You need to get Noah Anderson in there. That's who you need to get in there, bro.
I know. Fisher.
Noah Anderson from the Suns. He's a contested ball beast.
Yeah, I'm writing these down, Global. I'll see if I can fit him in. Fisher, Noah Anderson. We'll put Noah Anderson in the community team.
Yeah.
I'm going to create the community team. For 200K, I don't care. 5.
That's a fair point. He's only 200K. Not a bad one to throw him. You can throw him on the bench.
I got 83K in the bank. I can make things work. I'll get rid of Cully. Do some wizardry. Anyway, we'll get this team up. And
tell everyone the league again.
No, the league is.
Hang on, bring it up. There it is.
Come on. It's going to load tonight, ladies and gents. We're on. There it is. Right here. 679,278. 679,278. One more time. 679,278.
Get your phones out right now. Stop what you're doing. If you're listening to this tomorrow, pull over the car on the way to work. Quickly get in the league. Obviously, I think come Thursday, that's it. League automatically fills.
No,
right?
we got an. I don't think so. Oracle, can you answer that, please? I'm pretty sure it's unlimited changes to your team. The first round doesn't count. That opening round, round 0 doesn't count for Supercoach.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure we've got till next week. I'm pretty sure. Right. Oracle, you got to confirm that because you're the Oracle. Please. All right.
Oop, I removed you for a second.
And as we said, the league description, you finish last, we send you a Le Mans. Simple as that. It's pretty straightforward. All right, so let's get into the predictions for the season because we're up to 48 minutes. We'll
run through.
I'm too busy bagging Jimmy Webster and all those lemons. All right. First and foremost, Brownlow. Who you got?
Dacos. Nick Dacos.
I've got to put an S here for sauce. I'm going the Bont.
He's due one, isn't he?
100%. Also, welcome to Spinatron. And Brad Ripper said he went to the Lakers Thunders game tonight. LeBron is unreal at 39. Davis is underappreciated. SJ is the future. So, and Zach Lemura, welcome as well. And welcome to Matty Camps. Only scores relating to a player's price rise count. All right, starts in round 1. Lockie Neal for Brownlow. I'm going Bont Brownlow, Lions Premiers, and Larky Coleman. Jeez. Well, we'll get to that. Premier Sauce, who you got?
Oh, man. This is
Oh, creeps. Get out of here. Richmond Premiers. Get out of it, bro. Mate, North Melbourne's going to finish on top of the Tigers.
I actually don't know. Like, obviously, the Pies and the Lions are going to be up there.
No, the Pies aren't winning it.
I picked up. It's hard to go back to back, but why can't they go back to back? The D's, I picked them last year. Can the Blue Baggers fly up and go that next step? They made the prelim. Outside of that, I really think the only teams that can win it are potentially Collingwood, Brisbane, Melbourne, possibly Port Adelaide. Maybe you throw Carlton in there because they made the prelim. Yeah, all right. There's 5 teams. And the bookies actually have GWS as third favourites at $3.50 to win the flag.
So who are you going with?
Well, that's to make the grand final, sorry. They actually have GWS at $7 as third favourite.
Who are you going with?
You know what? Oh, man. I actually don't know. You know what? I'm going to pick. This is the year that the Lions get the job done. Brisbane Lions. I actually don't think they'll win. I was going to say Carlton and just start yelling da 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 da, but I actually don't think Carlton's good enough to win.
James reckons Carlton to win. Mezza for Brownlow says Global. North for a top 8 push, I believe, in Northball. Magda, relax. Chris says Sydney's a dark horse. I don't think they are, Chris, because they got a few injuries at the start of the season. No Mills, no Parker. Got a few guys that are out, key players, so that might hurt their campaign. We'll see how they go. They do have a lot of young talents. Lions should bounce back and take it out. I'm going with the Lions. I was going to say GWS.
You're going with the Lions too.
Yeah, I was going to say GWS to be a smart ass.
The purpose of the pod, I should just go Carlton just to. Nah,
I reckon they win it.
Lions win. I don't want Collingwood to win again, so I can't tip Collingwood.
Will Essendon win a final, says Chris?
No, we won't win a final. We'll be 21 years without winning a final, Chris.
They won't even make the finals, Chris.
Yeah, I actually don't think we're going to make the finals.
Norm Smith in the grand final. If you've gone Brisbane to win, who do you reckon is going to take the Norm Smith?
Charlie Cameron. He's going to kick 6.
Charlie Cameron, you've lost the plot.
Hey, Bobby Hill got it. All right. Very similar players.
You've lost the plot. I don't even know who I'm going to pick. I have no idea.
Global says, where do we finish? Where did Essendon finish? They finished 9th, mate. Outside
11th. Charlie Cameron. I'm going to go... Not Lachie Neale, because he doesn't play well in big games. I'm going to go Dunkley.
Dunkley? Dunks.
I like Dunkley.
Dunks.
Wooden spoon.
Oh, man. Is there improvement in North Melbourne this year? West Coast? I actually don't think they've got West Coast as, obviously the favourites for the West Coast. Yeah. I will say, I don't know. I'll say Fremantle.
Jeepers. Okay, I didn't see that coming. All right.
Well, mate,
okay.
The bottom, if you're having a look based off what the bookies reckon, Fremantle, Richmond, Hawthorn, North Melbourne, West Coast, that order they have.
So they're going to lose 7. They're going to win 7 less games this year. They won 10 games last year. So you're saying they're going to win around 3 games, Fremantle?
No, I think West Coast and North Melbourne can win more games. They could win 5 or 6 games or 7 games. So which means that they would only have to, half that amount. If they only won 5, they could finish on the bottom.
That's an interesting one. I did not expect.
I actually don't think West Coast is going to be
shit. No, I don't think they're going to finish last.
As bad as they were last year. I think people forget how many outs they had the first half of the season. Half their team was cooked.
Yeah, I'm not.
They've added a few extra guys. Hopefully, guys are a bit fitter. I don't know. Look, I don't want to say North Melbourne. I don't want to say North Melbourne, but I do think it's going to be out of North Melbourne, West Coast, and Hawthorn. But I'm just going to go left field and go Fremantle. I don't rate Fremantle at all. I actually think Fremantle, the bookies have their overs under season wins at 10.5, Doma.
I'm going.
I think that's an under every day of the week.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely an under for that. I am going with. Oh, jeepers creepers. Oh, fuck. I'm going to go.
Melbourne.
You know what? Fuck. This is hard, man. Nah. I'm going to go Hawthorn.
Richmond. Be good to see Richmond down there.
I'm going to go Hawthorn. Dropping 2 spots in the ladder. Well, I could do yours pretty easily. You said Freo.
Yeah, we can do Freo or we can do Port Adelaide.
Where did Port finish last year? 3rd. You reckon they won't make top 4? I'm going.
Do you
I'm gonna
forget
go
that Port Adelaide
Pies.
started absolutely terrible last year? So
I'm
should
gonna
they
go
start
Pies.
good and that rough
I'm going
patch of
Pies.
form comes in the middle towards the end of the year, yes, they might not finish in third.
I'm going Pies will drop 2 spots. That just means they won't finish first. They'll finish top 4, probably 4th or 3rd. I don't think they'll take out the minor premiers this year. Go up 2 spots.
I think Gold Coast does better this year. I think they go up.
I am going GWS 2 spots. I reckon they'll make top 4 this year.
Yeah, fair call.
Coleman.
Charlie, Curnow.
I'd say Harry Mackay, but guy can't kick to save his life. They just felt he went from an absolute jet at kicking goals to Levi Casbolt in 2 seasons. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm gonna go with Coleman to. Nah, you got to back him in. He's the only one that's gonna. If we're gonna win 7 games plus this year, the only way we're winning games is if the big Suvlaki is kicking goals. So
Yeah.
I'm going Larky,
Nick Larky, Suv.
the big Suva. Top 8.
Give my top 8.
Yeah.
Brisbane, Collingwood. I mean, I'm just throwing out the top 8. I'm not saying
Okay.
what order they're going to finish. I'm just
Yeah.
saying Brisbane, Collingwood, GWS, Melbourne, Carlton, all locks.
Yep.
Then I would probably have to go. I think Geelong is good enough to come back and get in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Geelong, Port Adelaide, and then
Teams outside the 8 absolutely stink from last year.
I'll say the Dogs.
Oh, he's gone the Dogs.
Even I have no confidence in them.
I'm gone the same. Lions, Pies, Giants, D's, Blues. I see Geelong making it back in. I see Port Adelaide because they are flat track bullies.
Yeah.
And I see. I see the Swans or the Saints. I'm going to go Swans just scraping in. They'll start off shaky, but they should. The Crows in the 8. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how they go. They lost Tom Duday. They lost Shane McAdam. Lost a few guys.
They are
I
not bad. I mean, the bookies have them in the 8 based off where they've got the odds at.
And that's it, Sauce. That's it for the AFL, mate. We've done it. We have literally successfully predicted who's going to win because one of the two of us is pretty good at selecting who's going to win a flag or get to a grand final. Actually, you know what we'll do? Prediction, Sauce. Let's go back to the premiers. Let's just say, who does the Lions beat in the grand final? So we can pick who makes it against them.
Carlton.
Oh, he's gone the baggers. You picked this last year, did you? Did you say Lions Blues last year? You're so close, bro. Oh, I'm going to go... I don't reckon Collins. I don't reckon Collins going to make it.
D's, GWS,
Nah, D's. The only way D's get it, mate, is if Joel Smith's still allowed to supply them with Coke. So they're flying during the game. It's the only way they've got a chance of winning it. You know what? I'm going GWS. It's going to be an interstate grand final, so no one watches it.
Come on, man. It's an entertainment business. You know the AFL will...
Magda says his top 8 is Pies, Lions, GWS, Saints, Port, Swans, Geelong, and the Blues. Mate, you said North is going to make a push for the top 8. There's North in there, Magda. Come on, mate.
No, Melbourne. You think Melbourne's going to miss the top 8? That's big. I don't think that.
Clary will play every game. He'll be in the community Supercoach team. I'm putting him straight in. Straight in there. I might even go live, Source, to make this team. One night. Might even do a Thursday night. While the footy's on, you can watch me and the footy on IG, just so we can make this community team. So just pencil it in. I don't want like 4 people in the live. Let's try and get it over 10. And let's just put the brains trust together and get the rookies in and do all that type of stuff. Well, let's move on because we're going to finish up pretty quickly from this point out. F1, quickly, Source. And this is going to be the quickest F1 segment you've ever seen. I said it 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. All right? And I can't believe how right I was 5 weeks ago. Saucy said it on this show last week. Was it last week? No, you messaged me during the week and you said, did you hear Verstappen when he said, the car's struggling, I can't shift my gears, I couldn't do this? And I said, yep, I did. And Saucy replied to me, you know what that means? That sounds like someone else we knew back in the past, a la Lewis Hamilton. And we said the season was over before it started. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, they got I think it's like a $1.5 million car upgrade coming in like 8 weeks' time. Red Bull Source to the power unit. And all I'm saying is this. If you're winning the first race by 22.5 seconds, just pack it up.
Pack it up.
Pack it up. That's his he's going to be a 4-time world champ. If he wins minimum 20 races this year, he automatically, at the age of 27, will be 25 race wins behind catching Lewis Hamilton 30 race wins behind Lewis Hamilton for most all-time Grand Prix. How cooked is that? He goes, I think, third all-time in race wins if he wins 20 races this year, behind Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton. And he becomes a 4-time world champ. I know we talk about Lewis Hamilton winning next year Ferrari. If anyone actually thinks Ferrari's going to do shit next year, you can forget about it. Look, Charles Leclerc is in the #1 Ferrari car. This is the guy that you're keeping as your partner with Lewis Hamilton. And he was locking up. They had problems. He couldn't even turn the car. So he's like his left side of the car kept locking up.
The big red tractor's back.
You got to wait to 2026. And by the time that happens, Max Verstappen would have won 5 world championships, won almost 100 races. And then you can compete in 2026 and see who does what. Who takes the Red Bull drive next year? It won't be Daniel Ricciardo, surely not. If you're getting Daniel Ricciardo back in, it's so Max Verstappen wins it, continues to win a title. This is in that car, Daniel Ricciardo probably goes down as one of the greatest defensive drivers to ever be in the sport. In a good car. Even in a shit car, he can, his defending and stop overtakes is pretty impressive. No, it won't be Carlos, surely not. Yeah. The question is Christian Horner even going to be there? There's a lot of things happening at the moment. I think there is a race this week, so let me just quickly have a look. There is.
It does look like it's over before it started, eh?
The Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, Sunday, 10th of March, 4 a.m., Jeddah, Corniche circuit, and I'm expecting to see the GOAT, Ronaldo, on the track with Martin Brundle. Would not surprise me if he's... Neymar was at the Bahrain Grand Prix, Source. Neymar, he was there. So, that's it. Move on to UFC.
Yes, Dom, UFC, if you don't know, it's sponsored by Roll Clean Soap. Head to www.rollclean.com.au and get 20% off your first order with double coverage at checkout. Don't be the smelly guy in the gym. Ooh, roll in with confidence with the lemon twist soap and oils. the works. They got all the hygienic products down at rollclean.com.au. Check them out, or at Rollclean Soap on the socials. Doma, UFC card over the weekend. Let me just bring it up. I was not prepared at all because I didn't know you were about to throw to me, but that's all right. We work on the fly here. We have the past card, which I'll bring it up. I'll just run through the main card results. You had Yarinzu Rozinchu defeating Shamlev Kaziev in the heavyweight bout. What did I tell you last week? Someone was going to get knocked the fuck out. And of course, Shamil got knocked out by Yarinzu Rozinchu in the 4th round. So that was lights out. Good night. In the light heavyweight bout, the co-main event, you had Vitor Petrino defeating Tyson Pedro. 3rd round, unanimous decision. Tyson Pedro, the Aussie, actually hung up the gloves. He's actually retired from the UFC. So obviously, congratulations, Tyson, on Pedro on a career in the UFC. He had a lot of injuries, an indifferent career, had some good wins, but probably didn't fulfill what could have been his potential, but nonetheless still made it to the UFC and fought quite a few bouts. So that's a feat in itself. So congratulations, Tyson Pedro. Then you had flyweight division, Muhammad Mokaev defeating Alex Pereira. This fight was a lot closer than people once thought. Mokaev was a short odds favorite, but Alex Pereira showed a good feat of himself, and it was a very good fight. And then you had Umar Nurmagomedov in the bantamweight defeating Bezkat Al-Makan with a unanimous decision over the distance. And then, I'm not sure if you've seen this, Doma. I'm not sure if you've seen this. Flyweight, Stephen Urchi knocked out number 9, Matt Schnell. So he'll go from number 12. He'll jump up into the top 10. He was ranked 12, Steve Urchi. Watch out for him, ladies and gentlemen. In the flyweight, this Aussie has, you don't see this in the flyweight too much, Doma. Guys have serious knockout power. But this guy has knockout power in them hands, yeah? And I'm telling you, the guys in that division should be worried because not too many guys in the flyweight division have the ability, have the knockout power, but he definitely does. It was a crazy left hook knockout. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you check it out. He knocked him out in the 2nd round. Definitely check that out. And then honorable mention, just because he got fight of the night, in the bantamweight division, watch out for this guy, Vinicius Oliveira. Of course, he's Brazilian with a name like that. Knocked out the Albanian Bernardo Sopai with a crazy flying knee. I'm not sure if you've seen this. It's flying knee clean to the chin, and he was just out cold. Like, he got him in the knee, and he literally just stood back and put his hands up. It was unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Some really, really crazy knockouts in this card. It was a very entertaining card for a fight night. So, yeah, make sure you watch some replays if you haven't seen them. But that was UFC fight night that passed over the weekend. And, Doma, this is where it's at. UFC 299, headlined by Sugar Sean O'Malley in his first title defense against Marlon Vera. Should be a big one for the bantamweight title. And then in the lightweight, the co-main event, Dustin Poirier against Benoit Saint Denis. This is actually a very good fight. And then the welterweight, you have Kevin Holland against Michael Page. And then welterweight again, you got Gilbert Burns against Jack
Michael Venom Page.
Michael Page, he's called.
It's not Michael Venom Page.
No, not Michael Venom Page. He's called Michael Page.
Okay.
Right? He's got a pretty good record, actually. Actually, Venom. Yes, that's him. His nickname, Venom.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah, that's him.
All right.
Yeah,
All right, there you go. Michael Venom Page is Doma, and Doma knows more about this bloke than me. He's not ranked, I think.
It could be his first fight in the UFC.
I think it is his first.
He came from PFL or
he
PFL?
came from another organization. He might have been in Bellator. I'm not sure. Then under that fight, you got the welterweight Gilbert Burns against Jack Della Mandolina, the Aussie, which is an absolutely tough fight. That's a 4 ranked against 11th ranked. And then under that, Look, it just gets look. These are the fight. Like that fight, the Gilbert Burns and Jack Della Mandolina is the fourth last fight of the night. And think about what I just told you before that.
Yeah.
Then you've got Peter Yan against Sonia Dong, right?
Oh.
And then in the prelims, just fuck, this card is huge. Curtis Blades against Yelton Almeida in the heavyweight. That's a cracker. And then the women's, you got Caitlin oh fuck, how do I pronounce that? Manara against Macy Barber. And then the lightweight, you got Mateus Gamrot against Rafael dos Anjos. Mate, the card is stacked. This card is huge. Make sure you tune in this weekend from 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. The main card starts, and I think the prelim card starts from around 12 p.m. Early prelims will start from 10 a.m. Early prelims and prelims are usually on free to air, I think, or maybe the early prelims, and then they switches over to the pay-per-view, or head to the wide realms of the internet and find yourself a stream. But tune in this weekend to UFC 299. It's going to be an absolute belter.
Thank you, Source. All right. Move on to Hobby Talk. And we've got one thing on the agenda for Hobby Talk, Source, and it's one thing only. And I don't think I really want to talk to it because I'll let you talk to it because it's your favorite topic in all of sports cards, and that is grading. I'm just going to bring it up. It's a great man here, Pete from SGC. He's loving life, and he's pretty much just announcing that they're being acquired by PSA. And
like Collectors Universe.
If you got a BGS slab, flush it down the toilet. And if you got a CGC slab, it's good for, I don't know what, to be honest. They're good for comics. So
yeah, good for comics, good for coins, CGC. You'd still send maybe your TCG cards. They got a little bit, but let's be honest. Look, we'll just say it how it is. Say it how it is. Sorry. Don't send any more cards to Beckett unless you like them specifically for your collection for some reason or another, and you want that card in a Beckett slab. I think Beckett slowly dies off over the next 5 years. Maybe
I'll get bought out.
They'll get bought out, or who knows? But I thought I was waiting for this moment. I knew PSA would acquire another company, another grading company. I was just waiting to see whether it was BGS or it was SGC. Seems as though, obviously, I'm not surprised that it is SGC. They do have their processes, and they seem a lot more organized as a company than BGS. But it's obviously dim days for BGS. And what does it mean for them? They're cooked, right? If I'm sending cards personally, even though ladies and gentlemen, what I think of grading companies, they're complete fucking scams. It's literally generated. What's that? What did we say the other week? It's the scarcity factor. It's like manufactured scarcity. It's grading, right?
Yeah.
That's what I really think of grading companies. But if I am sending to a grading company, which I have in the past, I've sent to SGC. I've never sent a card to PSA. I've sent to BGS. I've sent to HGA, a big mistake that was. Fuck you, Tyler. But I'm only sending to SGC and PSA. PSA, if I want to flip it and make money. SGC, if I want to flip it and make money. Yes, sure. But that's it. I'm only sending it to those two companies. I wouldn't send it anywhere else.
Now you're just sending it to PSA.
Well, yeah, so. PSA. Yeah. And obviously.
But you won't be sending it. You'd have to get me to send it because your whole theory of never sending.
Do it through a bulk sub through Lane. Do it through the Hobby AU, of course.
Technically, Source isn't subbing to PSA directly. He's using a third party. So he still holds on to the fact that he's never sent a card directly to PSA.
Yeah. Well, I actually never given a card into Lane. So it still rings true, mate. It still rings true. But yeah, look. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised this happened. I thought it was a matter of time. We thought it would happen a lot earlier than it did, but it happened. It's good for PSA in a sense that maybe, you never know, maybe PSA runs into SGC at some point and goes, yeah, mate, do you all want to work? Do you want to still work as graders? Yep. Still want to do this? Yep. All right. well, everything's now PSA, and they pretty much just steal all their graders and everything and then just convert the whole office to PSA. Now, I don't know if that will happen. They're saying they're going to run them as a separate company for now. I think the best option for them is to keep it as a separate company, just because it will create this. If they do the first option, what I just said, which is, obviously just get rid of SGC branding altogether, get rid of the tuxedo slabs and everything, people who have those SGC slabs are just going to be like, hang on, what does that mean now? Can I send my SGC 10 in and get a PSA 10? Because if that's the case, let's go for it, right? I don't think they'll do that. I think that's why they'll keep it the same, because then it'll create this situation where you'll have a lot of people wanting to resub their cards to get it over to the new holder, should they create a new holder. Or they rebrand the tux. This is what I would do if I was PSA. Listen, I'd rebrand the tux, fuck off the black back because no one really likes it, get the clear back, keep the label and stuff, and change the way it is, and you'll get a lot more people that want to just sub it just to get the new piece of plastic that they buy from China for like a cent each, right? So they'll make a shitload of money, right? It's just a marketing ploy. So I feel like that's what they're going to do, something like that, to create a marketing ploy to then get more people to send. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but yeah, I'm not surprised it happened. And I guess SGC is still good because I think they're still keeping the pricing model that SGC had, whereas PSA's got the, pay based on the value. SGC doesn't have that, so I think they're still keeping that. But does SGC get the same guarantee that the PSA customers get? I don't know, because obviously PSA's got their guarantee. Should they fuck up, they'll buy it at the fair market price or whatever it is. They've got this guarantee. Does that roll over to SGC? I don't know. Frankly, I don't really care if I'm, most of the time, if I'm grading something, I'm grading it to grade it and sell it straight away, or, I'm not really keeping it in the collection. If not, I'm just buying stuff that's already graded. So for me, it doesn't really affect the way I interact with this hobby. But for the people that do, send stuff for grading in, whether it be for your collection or whether it be to flip the items, I would, be sticking to PSA. And if it is just for your collection and you just want to grade it because you want to protect the card and get it in a slab, yeah, go for it. Send it to whoever you like.
The only thing I have to say is summed up by Magda. That's it. That's my comment right there. After Doma and Sauce. Yep. So that
pretty much says FUCK, these grading companies.
Yep. So that's my thoughts.
I agree, Magda. It is just it's literally a way to extort more money out of you as a collector, so that's less money that you have to spend on cards. That's the way I literally see them. Frankly, like I thought about it. You get a nice set. Like I've got that nice Planet Metal Universe set. The Jordan to get it. And I was thinking, do I, I've got a couple in SGC, one in a PSA, the rest are raw. Do I crack them all out, put them in one touches, or do I crack them all out, send them into a grading company? I'm just, contemplating what I do. But then you go, all right, you send the whole thing into a grading company. I've got to send it to PSA. It's $34 a card. By the time I send the whole cards, that's nearly $300, maybe $400 to $500 on grading fees, Australian. And mate, I could buy like an order. I could, for instance, I could buy like 3 Volkanovski autos, which I'd prefer to own in my collection for that price. Yes, they're sticker autos, but I could buy them. I could actually buy a nice, up and coming rookie, from the new rookie class for that price, right? 300-400 in NBA, right? That I would probably rather have. So that's the way that I think about grading companies, unless I'm literally, I've got this card, I know it's going to grade well and I'm going to flog it off and make money off it. That's literally the only reason I'm sending cards for grading. And, that's just the way I think. That's just the way I think. You let me know, ladies and gentlemen, in the comments whether, that's the way you think about your collecting. Have you been sucked in the past to sending to grading companies when you really shouldn't have? Have you feel like you've wasted money on grading companies? That's money you could have spent on some nice PC cards. let us know in the comments. What do you think? Like, what do you think about the whole, thing, right? Yeah. And let us know what you think about the merger between PSA and SGC in the comments, whether you like it, whether you don't. I'm indifferent. I couldn't really give a shit. But yeah, just reporting the news here on double coverage.
And on that note, we're done.
Yep. We've hit
We're
the
done.
1 hour.
I'm going to, as I said, I'll go live on IG on Thursday. Let's get this double coverage community team up and running. We'll have a bit of fun, talk some shit, do all that type of jazz. That's pretty much it. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce. Keep living, loving, and breathing sport. It's double coverage. Peace out, baby.
Peace out. Remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double coverage.